Quick one, my people. I've needed to look after myself a bit better for a little while now, but I keep pushing that start date back. Don't we all? Enough of that now. It's time. I've jumped on Oxford Naturals Optimum Day and Optimum Night. All natural supplements. Optimum Day, taken in the morning, is built to boost energy, optimize metabolism, blood sugar support, and weight management. Optimum Night, taken in the evenings, helps support that journey throughout the night by focusing on a deep, rejuvenating sleep and metabolic support. In conjunction, they help the body achieve a better balance, as well as giving you more focus, more control. Ingredients including berberine, ashwagandha, magnesium, guarana. It makes sense. Do your own research. The proof is there. Ballon d'Or winner Michael Owen, he lost over 35 pounds. Actor, content creator Kevin Gary, we know him as KG the comedian. He lost over 30 pounds. And that's my guy. I had to ask him if he vouches for it.
100% vouch for it all the way. I even got my wife, she's using it now as well. I still post them and they don't even sponsor, man, but just because it worked.
He's got the wife on it. That's certified. To find out more, scan the QR code or click the link in the description for up to 70% off your first order. Big up Oxford Natural, Optimum Day and Night. Start the journey now, people. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Loose Cannons. A day later than expected, probably. But if you've seen how we've been doing it this season, we tend to wait for either the game week to be over or the Champions League round to be over. And we've done just that, people, just to get a bit better perspective about what's lying ahead. So we're here a day later, but it's also a big one. Not because I'm back, not because Jordan's back or James is back. We've got a Carabao Cup final, but we've got the biggest City fan you can get on the internet in the building too. We've got big FC in the building.
You know what? I told you it was last week, the cinema.
Don't get him started, man. Don't get him started.
The cinema in West
Listen,
End.
you know how many people that upset that shark comment? I can't live it down now. You know what I mean? That's really affected a lot of people's lives. Like for 3 years, they've been holding on to shark trauma. Yeah. And they're really, really like, it's eating away at them. And they've been waiting, thinking one day Arsenal are going to be better than City. And I'm going to be able to give that Steve some shark trauma. And yeah, man, I should have trademarked it. I'd have earned a fortune.
You've single-handedly disrupted the shark stock market over the last few years. It's been highs, lows, everything. I think right
Steve,
now,
one thing I can promise you is the internet never forgets anything. I enjoyed 1-0 draw at the Etihad, and I'll never live it down. I will never live it down. Yes. The world will never, ever let me forget. So I now forever only want draws at the Etihad, which, to be honest, this season I'll take. But that's just the internet. So there you go. At least yours is a good one.
I can't. I can get away with nothing with skullfuggery knocking about. You know what I mean? Have you seen it? Everything you say. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be careful, man.
He'll be here. He'll be here watching this as well, seeing if he can take anything out of it for this final Monday show. 100%. Obviously, it's going to be a big one. Trust me. How you been, though, Steve? Outside of football, otherwise, everything good?
Yeah, been fine. Yeah, it's been a mad season, long season, tiring season. It's this part of the season is tiring, man. When you get in, like, when you go into all the matches and stuff, everything just lands at once. FA Cup, the league, the Champions League, and it starts to build up. And from your personal point of view, you're trying to juggle everything, but sometimes you cannot be at home for like 2-3 weeks, like if you're working as well. So it's tough. It's always the toughest part for me. I get a bit tired, man. Even on the big six at night time, I start nodding off. When Matisse starts talking about Chelsea or Toby starts talking about Tottenham at 12:30, it's time to go.
Now I actually know. Years ago, I had to listen through that. I was part of that. Now I'm listening to it, turning off my camera, thinking, this is the time to get off to the toilet or make a cup of tea or something.
Exactly, mate. Yeah. Now you know how we all used to feel, innit? When you're top of the tree and you're thinking, what am I listening to this bum talk for?
We're the big dogs now, so we can respect the conversation at the top. But people, go subscribe to Steve's channel. Like I said, the biggest Man City fan on the internet, one of the biggest match-going fans you can find, regardless of football club. And he does content too, so make sure you go over there, show him some love. He's got Big Steve MCFC. He's got We Are the South Stand with Daps, another big City fan too. We'll put that in the description, so go show some love, people. And you should know anyway. If you know me, you know Steve. But make sure you show some love and always to the regular channels as well. Call Us Disabled, the Big Six, the Gooniverse. Make sure you're showing love all round, people. But yeah, Champions League football is out of the way. And yeah, we got the job done as expected, huh?
For some.
Well, yeah, we got the job done as expected. The Man City job after that first leg was, it was a tough ask, to be honest with you. I know Steve and a lot of City fans still showed up and done what they need to do. But yeah, losing 3-0 at home first leg, it wasn't quite 1-1 at Leverkusen. So what was expected to happen happened. I think Liverpool coming back, beating Galatasaray. I think people expected that too. Barcelona beating Newcastle. That was expected. Atletico lost to Tottenham on the night, but still got through. So that's kind of our side, how it's looking, Sporting, and then even Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. But I think the performance was good and the goals were even better. I was at the game. So I'll start. I was at the game. I think we were strong. I think Leverkusen had some bite about them. I think credit to them. They made it a game. Good young side. They had good passages of play. But that, I think, made our performance better than usual, in my opinion, because it was a very solid, compact, efficient performance. It was just a mature performance. I think multiple players played well across the pitch until, obviously, Eze done what he done in that moment. And I think those moments were necessary because as solid as we was, as good as we was, it wasn't that we was creating abundances of chances, especially early on. Before that, we was quite wasteful, I think, going into the final third. But Eze broke that deadlock, and from there, the rest was history. That's one of the best goals I've seen live in terms of taking everything into account. I see James mentioned the Adebayo goal in comparison, in terms of the turn, the touch, the finish, how thorough he hits through that ball. You can't hit it any better than that. Top bins, and from there it was a comfy ride after. Nervy beforehand, just because it's Champions League, we've never won it. Steve can tell us how hard it is to win it, and you can't take any side for granted. But after that, we just got the job done. Second half, I think we didn't start well. I wasn't happy about the whole. It looks like we're sitting on the lead, especially such a tight lead. But then Declan Rice comes up trumps, and I think his goal was timed even better than the Eze one, because Leverkusen were just creeping back into it. Not creating chances, but they were just, they were confident on the ball. They were getting into the final third, but we defended very well. Saliba, masterclass as usual. Gabriel played his part, and so did the rest of the defense. So 2 bangers, efficient performance. And on to the next round. I mean, that's all I really want to ask for from last night or the night before, sorry. And just get the job done, no injuries. And, if you can rotate a little, get some, rest for a couple players before a big one this Sunday, get it done. And I think we've covered all aspects, really.
Yeah, I won't say too much. Obviously, we've got Steve here, so we'll go into the City stuff quite quick. But I'll be honest, maybe because I was watching it under a blanket, pumped full of meds. I haven't been feeling well the last few days. Maybe I saw it differently. I thought we did create an abundance of chances. I thought the goal we scored was coming. I thought we were all over them. We were punching the ball through the lines. I think what we didn't actually, I was about to say we didn't have the keeper making loads of saves, but we kind of did. He's kind of scrambling over his goal line. He made a really good one from Trossard when Saka rolled it back to him. Yeah. I know what you mean. It wasn't like we were kind of raining shots on their goal, because at half time I think we'd had 11 shots, and I remember at half time in the Everton game we'd had 13, and if you ask people which was the better half, they say the Leverkusen one. So sometimes shots doesn't equate to chance creation, but I think what we
I just think, sorry to cut, before the goal, I remember 2 big moments. And bear in mind, when you go to a game and watch it, it's different to TV, so our perspectives are going to be different. But we had the Trossard chance that, it was a great save from them. And they had that chance where they broke through. It was a 1-2 with Kafane and another player, and Hincapié came blindside and essentially.
Did well.
But for me, those were the 2 biggest chances. As much as we had most of the ball, it was that one big chance each before that big Eze goal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's funny watching it live. Steve, do you go to every game? Do you go to every City game?
Yeah, most of them, 90%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to know what you think about this. I find when you're watching it live, you're at the mercy of seeing everything once. You don't have things reinforced by like the Sky cameras. So I think when you're watching it on TV, the one thing you do get is an immediate second and third opinion on something that's just happened, and it sticks in your head because it's just happened. Whereas watching it live, you almost have to process quite quickly, right, that was a chance, but then you're kind of immediately watching the next thing.
Well, that's why I never do my when I come out of the ground, I do my 60-second reaction, because how I've felt it raw, how I'm genuinely feeling. Then I get home, then I'll watch the match again, the full game, and then I won't do my match reaction till the day after. And people always say, you know, if you get beat, oh, where is he? He's not doing. It's like, you need to process everything, because there's things I haven't seen, and I say it a lot on the Big Six, especially when VAR and things are happening. We're the last ones in the stadium to know what's going on, and then when they finally do give a decision, it's like we still don't know. And then you're getting people from home texting you, the group chats popping off. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? So when you come out of a football ground 9 times out of 10, you're literally confused if there's been a bit of controversy, because you're the last to know. So I do like to go and watch it again on TV and stuff like that. But yeah, you do get, you can go and have a conversation. You can come straight from the game to the pub, and you can have a conversation with a guy who's watched it in the pub, and you're thinking, what is he talking about? Has he watched the same match? But it's just the way it is, you know. But yeah, it's mad.
That was like
100%.
Leverkusen away. I came back from it saying Timber was probably man of the match for me, whereas I think James and I think even Jordan said Timber didn't have a good game. It was literally the hot and cold perspective on the same player.
Well, Turkish, I came back from Everton, and I was probably the most praising on the podcast of how good they were. You know, I'd watched that game, and I was watching them. I was looking at their shape from a bird's eye view. And I was thinking, oh my word! I mean, how can you play through these guys? Whereas, again, you guys saw a different perspective, like the highlights of every bad pass, every missed opportunity, and all that kind of stuff. But just back on Leverkusen, and interestingly, applying that to Leverkusen, you, Turkish, were more praising of Leverkusen than I was. I didn't think Leverkusen were that good. I mean, I thought they had the odd chance, but I wasn't really that impressed. But anyway, on the game, Eze and Gyökeres are clicking. And, you know, I don't want to go too far with it, because I do think the Champions League allows for a bit more space and the physicality of those more adapted to English football to come through a little bit more. But they did look very comfortable. I thought their touches were neat. I thought they were combining well with the players. Zubimendi was able to show what he can do a little bit more on the European stage. I don't know. I think we've got a lot of players who are kind of more suited to maybe what the Champions League brings than necessarily week in, week out Premier League. In terms of flexing on the ball, that kind of stuff. I thought we showed that against Leverkusen and scored some good goals for it. So, yeah, it was a good professional job. I was nervous about it. I thought that maybe Everton would have taken a lot of energy out of us. I also thought we would have had one eye on Sunday. And I thought this could be like an Olympiacos or a Sporting, or just a night where actually, you know, I predicted 1-1, didn't I? And I said it'd go to extra time and penalties. I thought this was going to be a really difficult game. But Arsenal did a really good job keeping it really professional and working hard and getting it done. So, yeah, I was really happy with it.
The second leg at home is massive. It's massive. It's like when we won it that year, the treble, we went to Leipzig, drew 1-1, didn't play well, just steadied the ship. Everyone was going mad, like, oh, 1-1. We came back to the Etihad, we beat them 7-0. And it's like, you don't have to go all gung-ho. You've seen what City tried to do the other night in Madrid, tried to go gung-ho. Yeah, totally against what we've done in past seasons. You go to Real Madrid, regardless who they've got missing, you play a packed midfield, you see the game out, you win 1-0, you get beat 1-0. You take them to the Etihad, you ramp the crowd up, you flatten them. That's the game plan for me. Looking at their team and thinking, oh, they're weak, let's go and plough them, and end up conceding 3, you've murdered yourself straight away. So from Pep Guardiola there, we know he has these moments where we think, why has he done that? And that was a moment. I'm in the Bernabeu and I'm thinking, this team, no disrespect, is not the Real Madrid team of old. Bear in mind, we went there in December and beat them. Yeah, we went there in December in the group and beat them. And we've gone against everything we know about Madrid and got a bit too excited. Played Semenyo in a 10, which is bonkers. Yeah, left Rodri exposed to death. And then the other night, we tried our best, like you say, but it comes short. But this is about game management and what you're seeing with Arteta now. I know a lot of fans sometimes get on his case and think he's being very pragmatic and he's pulling back a little bit. But sometimes you've got to, because if you don't, you get a situation what you got the other night. You're in the business end of the season now. You'd rather be pragmatic and safe and get the job done rather than go gung-ho, get caught out. Because this is what's happened in previous seasons. Arsenal have gone into this last bit thinking they look really good. And everyone thinks, yeah, they look well. And then all of a sudden you find yourself 2 down at home to Bournemouth or someone mad and you're scrambling after the game. Whereas if you'd have just sat back and grown into the game and passed them off the park and murdered them that way and been patient, you'd have got over the line. And this is what the difference I see with Arsenal now. Players like Zubamende, it's a calm on the ball, nothing flashy. He's not doing anything, he's not reinventing the wheel, but he's ticking it along nice in the midfield and keeping you moving. And it's a machine and you have to be fluid. And he's one that I think is probably up there for player of the season because he goes under the radar a lot. But if you watch football, if you take him out of the Arsenal team, I think you lose something. But I think if he's done tremendously well for his first season. And in that Champions League is a different animal. It's a different animal. The amount of times we've gone in it and been the best team in the world and never won it, got beat off Lyon, got knocked out of teams you shouldn't be getting knocked out of. And that's because that can happen. So although Arsenal at the minute, everyone says they're doing well, they're on the easy side, it does look a great run from outside looking in. But there's still a couple of tough ones there, Still got to win it. It's not as easy as people think,
Yeah, 100%. And on that whole being sensible, I was losing my head in the stadium when, losing my head's going too far. But when he brought on Mosquera instead of Ben White against Everton, I just thought, oh, Mikel, that's such a shame because we need a little bit more to break down Everton here. But ultimately, he looked at it and went, cool, but if they counter-attack with Iliman and Jai, who's their best player, and they go 1-0 up, there's no way we're turning this around. So he lent on, let me do more to make sure it stays 0-0 rather than do too much to go for the 1-0, but we might go 1-0 behind. Just like you said, keep it in the game, keep it sensible. And there's every chance that ball falls in the back of the net. Now, listen, you need a little bit of luck because ultimately Pickford makes an error and Mark Gahey misses a sitter. That could easily have gone differently. And suddenly we're not talking about a 6-point or 9-point gap. We're talking about it being shortened. So you do need an element, but he plays percentages, Mikel, and those percentages are kind of based off a really solid back four and ultimately just working hard, doing a job and keeping clean sheets. And it's something I've had to just adapt to and get used to throughout the season. I've had to just go, you know what? We're competing on all 4 fronts, but it's because we are in every game. In every game, we're in it, whether we win, lose or draw. So yeah, it's an interesting point you make there. But Leverkusen, we got to flex a little bit, which was good to see. I thought the football was much better, and we put them to the sword in the second leg, as Steve said. That was the model for City, and I think we need to learn from it.
Interesting, because I always look at that. Sorry, Jordan, but I always look at that. The home away thing. I always thought it was a bit over exaggerated, the importance of it. But Steve supports the team that's won it, and he's right. How many years were they the best team in the world without actually winning it? So I'll take his advice on that. I just thought last season a lot was made about this whole home away thing. That really just growing up back in the day.
If you go to a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich and defend, which you're good at, and you could get a 0-0, you've got to fancy your chances coming back to the Emirates. That's what we were doing. We took Madrid 2-2, and then we came back to the Etihad and beat them 4-0. Then we beat Bayern Munich at home 3-0. Then we went to Bayern Munich and drew 1-1. And so we had a mad running, probably harder than we'd ever had, but we managed it well. Whereas we're playing teams like Lyon and we're showing them no respect, thinking we're going to blow them away, and then we're coming unstuck because it's their steak night. I say it all the time. You're not prepared. If you're only 30-40% prepared because you're superstars and you think you're going to walk into a stadium and roll them, and they're like, this is the night of our life. All the families are there. This is what they've dreamed of. You can put it on you. We've copped for that in the FA Cup final twice, 3 times. Wigan, by the way. Mancini, Tevez, all the boys, Wigan, Palace last year, worst game I've ever seen, and Man United. When we'd done them in the treble season, the season after get them in the thing, they said, we got no chance, it's Man United, they beat us. So if you're not up for it, and people are, that's when you get unstuck, and I've seen it many a time.
Jordan, talk to us.
Yeah, well, I agree with Steve's analysis of the Man City game, in how they tactically kind of killed themselves even from the first leg. But having said all of that, in the second leg, City had chances to score goals in that second leg, right? even after Silva was sent off,
Mm.
City still had 2 or 3 good chances to get in that game. I don't rate this Real Madrid team. I
No, it's
don't
not.
rate this Real Madrid
It's
team.
nowhere near as good as what it is.
I don't rate them. So having said all of that, with a 2-3 goal deficit and a man down, I think if City had taken a couple of those chances, it's game on. So that was something that I found interesting as well. Even despite Pep Guardiola getting it wrong, that second leg could have still been alive had they taken a couple of their chances. Just on the Leverkusen game, because I know we want to get to the final because we've got Steve with us. Just to rattle through some of my thoughts, I thought it was a really enjoyable game. And I know that a lot of our viewers and listeners always accuse me of being miserable and boring. This is one of the handful of games this season. I actually thought the boys played really, really well. I thought Leverkusen were decent. They went for it. They didn't sit back. They're a decent team. But I really I enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed this game from the boys. I thought they played really, really well. I actually don't have any complaints. Maybe the first time I've got no complaints from the team this year. Just to go through a few of the points, a few key points to rattle through. Eza, I thought was one of his best games, but not only the goal he scored, but off the ball, he seems to be understanding a lot more now what Arteta wants off the ball. He picked up really good number 10 type positions, which I think he does normally, but it was his off the ball play that I was kind of drawn to, like, oh, he's really understanding where he needs to be. We don't have the ball. He doesn't seem to be lost, and he seems to be getting it now, and that does bode well for us this season. The stats
Jordan, did you hear Arteta's quotes on that?
Go on.
He was asked about it. He was directly asked by journalists, about Eze off the ball and whether he's improving, blah, blah. And Arteta, I'm paraphrasing, said something like, if you don't do that, you've got no chance of playing in this team. So he really emphasized that. So it's a good pick out that. Yeah.
That makes sense. I noticed, like, when we didn't have the ball, he won the ball back a few times as well because he was in the right positions. And his stats going around that he finishes seasons really well in the last 3 seasons. Apparently, there's a massive difference between the first half. So he that's boding well for kind of going forward. And I always thought him and Marino. I don't get much right, Steve. You'll realize when we get to the predictions later on at my table. I don't get much right in terms of predictions. But I did say at the start of the season, I think Eze and Marino are going to have big back ends of the season for us. They'll be really good squad players for us this year. And he's coming good this season. I thought Gyökeres was really, really good. He didn't score. I don't know if people he didn't get a goal. But his centre forward play for pretty much the whole game that he was on was really impressive. His hold up play, I liked. His bringing others into play, I liked. He fashioned a couple of chances, which I liked. He didn't get a goal. He didn't score a goal, but he did everything but. And although, look, I think the guy's limited. I don't think he's an elite striker. But if he can't get all the goals, do all the other basic centre forward type things well. And he did that. He was really, really good. I was a bit like, yeah, this is a good performance from him. I liked that. And Zubimendi, I'm so glad James and Steve mentioned Zubimendi because he slyly is going under the radar. On the last pod, Marvin said he was in the top 3 players for Player of the Year. And I was like, oh, okay. Because my top 3 is Raya, Gabriel, and Rice, right? And he put Zubimendi in. Zubimendi was brilliant. But he passed forward a lot more than he normally does. But he's a baller. He's an absolute baller. And I agree with Steve. He's the sort of player that when he's not in the team for 2-3 games, you really see it. He's an intelligent player. He's a David Silva. He's not spectacular. He's not going to get all the headlines, but he's the guy that understands football. He knows where to be. He knows where to park. What are you laughing for?
Bro, stop using legendary names on this show when you.
No, but I'm just saying
I just know what the comments are gonna do now.
I'll take it. I'm making the comparison though. David Silva wasn't a spectacular player. De Bruyne was the guy that was but David Silva was like almost the brains. I mean, Steve can check me if I'm talking.
He was spectacular though, David.
No, but in a sense that he didn't score lots of top corners, and he didn't do things that were.
I think he did.
Not from what I remember. I remember him being the guy that was intellectually. What's the word?
He was above the rest. He was a cut above the rest. He was a cut above the rest intellectually.
David Silva. Every game David Silva played was an 8-9 out of 10 game, and then that's that because his standard was so high. You just was used to it. You know what I mean? It was only then he retired when you take a step back and think how good David Silva was. With Zubimendi, it's his first season as well. He's only going to get better. For Premier League's a different animal to what he's been used to. You know what I mean? And he'll only get better. That's the problem. He's going to get better. And then with Eze, I always say it on the Big Six show, and some of the comments, they don't understand what you're saying. Like, it's a massive step up from Crystal Palace to Arsenal to be thrown straight in the title race to Champions League to FA Cup, where you've got to win. So there's nowhere to hide at Arsenal now. At Crystal Palace, he can drop 4 stinkers out of 10, and he's still playing. If you drop them at Arsenal, the fans are going to murder you alive, and the people that's the end of you. So I think he's done well, and I think he's learning a different role. You know, the Eze you see at Palace, where he's got all the freedom in the world and all this, and he runs around and he arrives at the back post and he taps it in. You're not going to get that Eze at Arsenal because A, you're in a better team, and B, you've got to pull your weight. It's a machine. I say it all the time. You're all cogs at Arsenal. That machine's got to work a specific way. Mikel Arteta might take something from his game, which people don't like. Well, we're not getting that off him. But then you'll find that he'll add something to his game which you'll appreciate down the line, where you think, you know what? People slag Jack Grealish. Oh, Pep Guardiola ruined him because he wasn't the Jack Grealish that came on the inside and had this maverick role, ran across the 10 and shot and passed and did all that. No, he turned him into a machine. You play left wing. You get the ball. You take 2 men with you. You pass it inside quick. The guy played 55 games in the treble season and won the treble. They're calling him a flop. Was it good on the eye? No. Was it swashbuckling Jack Grealish? No. But you go and ask Jack Grealish how he felt he played that season. He's had instructions up to the hilt, what Pep's telling him to do. Thierry Henry's mentioned it about Pep Guardiola. I go to Barcelona, I'm Thierry Henry. No, you're not. You stay on the left wing. You're not going to touch the ball today. You're going to make dummy runs to take the back 4 10 yards deeper, and then we're going to zip it into Messi, and Messi's going to kill him. No, I'm Thierry Henry. I want to score goals. Doesn't matter about that. Once he got it in his head, Henry, now the way he speaks, he's like, yeah, there's more to football than being me. And this is with Eze. You're going to see it. You're going to see him, you know, get better. This is what I'm saying. I say to players, relax. You know, don't throw people under the bus too soon, because we're all human beings. Some human beings process it quicker. Some don't. You know, you see players and you know, I've had Mateus Nunes. Pep Guardiola said, you're not clever enough to be a midfielder. Imagine being a midfielder being bought for 50 million and your manager says, you're not clever enough to be a midfielder, but I think you're a good right back. The guy's steady right back now, you know what I mean? But no, I think Eze is a good player, and technically I think he's only going to get better. And a lot of this Arsenal team will get better. And especially if you get over the line and win trophies, the mentality that brings to the team, it can give certain players an extra 10, 15%. Because they're walking different. Yeah. They're bouncing in the training ground that little bit different, you know?
My last point on the game, which is going to be the first leg, I think only Isak is the only centre forward I've seen consistently give Gabriel and Saliba problems, right? I've forgotten his name. The Leverkusen, yeah, the Leverkusen centre forward in the first leg murdered both of them. This second leg, they handled him. They definitely improved. They really got a handle with the first leg. I was really impressed by how much he was just like, he killed Saliba. He absolutely killed Saliba in the first leg. This one, they handled business. And it was the word James used, professional 2-0 win, really good performance, chances created, clean sheet, get out there. And I'm standing on my Zubimendi Silva comparison. I'm standing on that. I'm not going to waver from that one. I don't care what you lot say.
Are you still standing on Havertz and Kaka?
Well, that was a bit. There was nuance there, so don't try it. There was nuance in that one. There was nuance.
Well, we're through, and the expectation was a cold trip on a 4G pitch to Bodo, but that all flipped on his head. Sporting.
Do you know what? That's a good thing. I think not playing Bodo is a good thing, because the pitch they've got and the altitude is a leveler.
I was there. I went there.
Yeah. Go on, Steve. You know, yeah.
Mate, it was like, do you know Rocky IV when he fights the Russian and then you land and you get off the thing and it's like, where the fuck am I here? It's snowing.
Who's that? Dolph Lundgren, that one.
I could hear the music when I got off the plane in Bodo. I thought, yeah, we're ready for it here, Rocky IV. And then you're walking around Bodo, right? And I'm not joking, everywhere, the pavements, everything is covered in ice. Like the sheet ice in England where you slip on your ass and break your neck, yeah? They're walking about like that's normal. Like, and all you can see is English guys like holding on to like bushes and that and skidding. And I'm like, where's the rock salt, man? The guy's like, rock salt? I'm going, who's rock salt in the paths? They went, we don't rock salt the paths here, mate. That's how we live. And I'm like, this is mad. And then you get in the ground. It's like playing. It would be like Arsenal playing a high school team on a 3G pitch, right? That's what it was like in there. They were selling soup out of a kiosk in the corner because everyone was freezing. I had hand warmers off Amazon in my pocket, gloves, fucking bobby hat on. I had all the gear on and that. And I was just like, I don't even want to be here. Now, them players don't want to be here. You know what I mean? And they didn't fancy it. And they were even watering an artificial pitch. How does that work? You know what I mean? Like the plastic's going to grow. You know what I mean? They watered it to get it to freeze and that. You know what I mean? So Bodo Glimt, you've got to give him the credit. The most loveliest people on the planet, friendly little fishing village place, great place to go as an away day, but horrible for the players. You know what I mean? Horrible. They know what. Yeah, you dodged the bullet, and you're going to go to Lisbon. It's going to be sun shining. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful place. It's where you want to be going. Definitely not Bodo Glimt or Bozo Gimps. We call them Bozo Gimps on the Big Six, and they came back and done us in. So
he says we, well, you call them Bozo Gimps.
Bozo Gimps. So yeah, losing 3-1 to Bozo Gimps wasn't the best away day of my life, but as a place and as somewhere to go for a football perspective, brilliant place. We got up in the morning and we walked around to they had a sauna, a floating sauna on the sea. So bear in mind, the Arctic Circle is Wales and it's freezing, yeah, minus whatever it is. And people go in the sauna and then you open the glass door and you jump in the sea and then you get back out. And we walked around in the morning and Guardiola, Pep Linders and all them boys, they were in there at 7 a.m. doing the sauna thing. There's a load of pissed up City fans in there. It was funny. I swerved it, mate. I seen some guy nearly. I got one guy screaming. I caught him on camera shouting, "Me knees." So I thought, wow, if his knees are freezing, yeah, me with my dodgy ticker, I ain't jumping in that sea. So I filmed it all from the coffee shop across the road. So, but Bodo Glimt, you ever get there, go. They're the away games you need to go. Real Madrid's been there so many times. Bayern Munich, yeah, great, fancy stadium. But Bozo Gimps on a Wednesday night, -20. That's the place.
So to sum that up, great people, great place. We call them Bozo Gimps. I think that sums it all up.
Great team as well, by the way. They play some good football.
Good little side, you know what I mean? And they play to the strengths. But I watched the game. The once Lisbon got the momentum the other night, they could sense it. They were going to do it. You know what I mean? And they done it. But I think it's a good draw for you guys. You got to be happy with that.
Wasn't that a great example of home advantage? Everything you're saying about what you got to do at home, what you got to do away. I mean, 3-0 one end, 5-0 the other. Crazy. But well done, Sporting. I mean, our kind of war path towards hopefully finally winning silverware has held a lot of like hurdles from our past, hasn't it? When you think like, I don't know, even the fact that it's a title race with City, when a lot of people weren't expecting City to be in it, we expect it to be Liverpool. If we do get to the semis, it's Barcelona. This final on the weekend is City, where they beat us in the Carabao Cup final in 2018, beating Chelsea. Over the years, we've had our history with them. Some of the other games, like beating Emery's Villa 4-0 and all that, you know, en route to hopefully what's a title win. You know, Sporting again knocked us out of the Europa League 3 years ago. And it's so funny when people reflect on all these years that we've missed out on the title. I also reflect on all the trophies we didn't win. And to be going for 32 games toe to toe with Man City and then not win that Europa League, the Europa League. Like that's one that burns me because we should have just picked that up on the way.
That was one of Arteta's worst nights, Sporting.
Yeah, shocking night to go out in the way we did. I mean, you know, A, it's a reminder and a warning of what can happen, but B, you know, it's an opportunity, isn't it? And it seems to be like that narrative has sprung up a few times. I saw some people saying, "Look how good Sporting are now that Amorim's gone, getting to the quarterfinal of the Champions League." But yeah, that would be an interesting one.
The Victor Gyökeres derby, they've got a bit of bite there. I mean, the way he left the club, they might have something there. I know they replaced him quite well by their standards. Their Luis Suarez guy, he's
banging.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if we need a striker, maybe.
Who wants to sign him?
Luis Suarez II. But yeah, Sporting we'll talk about more, I think, closer to the time because that's still a couple of weeks away and big games in between. Carabao, Premier League, before Sporting Champions League returns. But yeah, let's keep it moving. But before we do that, hit the like button, people. Make sure you do that. 1,000 likes nice and early. Obviously, show the individual channel some love. And the QR code is on the screen for Oxford Natural, their Optimum Day and Optimum Night package, vitamin package. You know, helps you start the day and helps you end the day. I'm taking it now. And if you heard Josh last show, or the show before the last show, one of our guests, he actually takes it. KG takes it. A few people have taken it and vouched for it. So if you need something to give you a little boost when you wake up, if you need something to put you down when you're ready to go sleep, then go Optimum Day, Optimum Night, people. 70% off, code Turkish, and the QR code is on the screen. But yeah, Carabao final, the first final of the season. Two clubs where you know the term quad has been thrown about, but I think Steve will know better than us. But I think it's way too early to be talking about multiple trophies when the first one isn't even out of the way yet. Wembley Sunday, big one. The two best teams in the country go head to head. Jordan, let's start with you on this one rather than wait for everyone to have their go. Let's start with you about thoughts, feelings ahead of it. Seeing City this past week, I mean, I fear that there's a bit of a wounded animal there, but I'll get into my thoughts shortly. But yeah, Jordan, talk to us.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It feels like we've been working towards this and getting to a final for a few years now. Arteta's cup record is horrific. It's really bad. So to get to a final this year, especially after last year, losing to Newcastle in the semi-final was a shocker. We were poor in both games. So to kind of come back the next year and get to the final is great. I think we go into it for what it's worth, just as favourites. And I think it's going to be a difficult game. I don't think it's going to be a game. I know Man City's form of late hasn't been great, and our form has been quite good. I don't think that will matter in this final. I think City are going to be out to try and salvage some of their season, and I think they can do that by putting a League Cup in the cabinet. They'll do that by cementing top two in the coming weeks, and hopefully having a run in the FA Cup as well. So they're going to be going for it as well. I see this game, guys, as very much like experience and know-how versus hunger and desire. You've got one team that have been there and done it, and I don't think we should underestimate the power of knowing how to get something done. City have done that, and they have that. We don't have that. But what we do have is a hunger and a desire to win and to succeed. And it feels like this is our time. And I compare it to almost the Klitschko-Joshua fight, where you had the established champion who'd been there, done it. He was the guy, he was probably the favorite. Klitschko, world champion, rare, versus a guy on the rise who was hungry, who had the desire, who really wanted to have his moment and really knock Klitschko off his perch. Joshua won that fight. And I think in this analogy, where the Joshua, they're the Klitschko. Hopefully it goes the same way. But that's how I kind of see this. And also kind of just mentioning finally on Eze as well, the difference I've always felt in the last 2 or 3 seasons between us and City and Liverpool is that Liverpool and City have had match winners. They've had guys that if they're playing or even playing poorly, they've got De Bruyne. They've got Salah. We've not had a guy that can, when we're not playing great, just do something. I think in Eze, he was the guy we signed to be that guy.
Gabriel's probably the closest thing we've got.
Well, and that's saying something in terms of
that's crazy.
Affecting the game attacking wise. Saka's been our best attacking player. He's elite, but I don't think he's the match winning guy that if you're not playing great, you look to him to do something out of nothing. So I really hope Eze can do that. He's got form in cup finals against City, so he knows he's been there just last year. So I'm looking for him to really, off the back of a really good week, to really cement it with a performance in the final. And I think it'll go all the way. I do think it'll go past 90 minutes. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there. I'll be there on Sunday, supporting the boys. And I think this is our time. And just finally, before the boys come in, James, you know me. We've had discussions about it before. I don't buy into this. This is psychologically linked to the league, and the team that wins this will have an edge in the league. I think we win the title anyway. I think we win the league anyway. But even if it was close from the league, I don't think there's as much emphasis on this League Cup final in terms of the league as I think most people put on it. I think this is an isolated final that the best team on the day will probably win, but I don't think that has a massive bearing on the league kind of going forward.
Yeah, I'm excited for Steve's take on that because I had a similar thought. Look, I've got one kind of overwhelmingly positive feeling about this game and one slightly negative about it. And the positive one is what you said there, Jordan. I said this back when we beat Chelsea in the semi-final and City got past Newcastle. A lot of people were billing it as like, can it be the moment that Arsenal turn things around and grab control of the title race, or is it the moment that psychologically City can bruise Arsenal again and then take control of the title race? I feel like both teams are going to treat it totally as its own thing. You know, it's a game that I don't know how to say this without, because I don't want to devalue any trophy. I love the Carabao Cup. We haven't tasted silverware in 6 years, so I'm desperate to win it. But I almost think we don't really know what it means this final, other than just enjoy the Carabao Cup, because then there's 2 weeks off, then there's loads more football to play. Now, City, Steve, you've watched City win 4 in a row of them. So I'd love your insight on this. Like, what does it mean? Because as much as it's kind of really enjoying the trophy in the moment, there's something really weird about it where you can claim it, but then there's so much work still to do after. You almost don't really get time to enjoy it necessarily. So what is the value on the fact that it's a trophy and you just enjoy that and that's the important thing? Or do you think there's something more intangible there about it?
I think you've got to enjoy it. And obviously, Arsenal last few years have not been winning anything. You know what I mean? Charity Shield and the FA Cup. So massive day out at Wembley. The fans. It's a decent trophy to win. You know what I mean? We've said that before. People tried to slander it on the Big Six show, and Grizz went for a couple of finals. And I said to him, when you actually get there, you know, with your family and your friends, and you see it all, and when you win the cup, it's a cup. And I say sometimes the big teams are a little bit disrespectful, the fans, towards this competition, because there's 90 other teams. There's 90.
He's Turkish. Yeah, he does. He doesn't rate it as much.
There's 90 other teams in this country who would give the right arm to win a Carabao Cup. Look what it meant to Newcastle, you know, and their fans, you know, they're walking around with tattoos of it on their arm and stuff now. You know what I mean? So that's how mad it can be. But I think it's just a chance to put the league to one side. It's a shootout, you know, City Arsenal. Let's get it, first trophy of the season. Let's get it in the bag. I mean, psychologically, you know, if we beat you in that final, I don't know. Does it mean anything if we to go into the league game? I don't think so. I think City's team will be changed. I think James Trafford and that will be in goal. I don't think it'll be Donnarumma and stuff like that. So I don't think it's, you know, if it was a Champions League game, Donnarumma's in net, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I think it is what it is. He sticks with his team, Pep, throughout the competition. I've got no idea what he's going to play. No City fan does. But I'm looking forward. I am genuinely looking forward to the game. I'm just looking forward to 90 minutes of football, see how City turn up against Arsenal, see how Arsenal play, and hopefully we can get one over you and win it.
Do you know what I think? Go on, James. Go on.
No, yeah, I was just going to, sorry, John, I didn't really have a major point. I was just going to sort of nod along with that, which is I don't have this kind of overwhelming feeling of this match decides anything beyond the winner of the trophy. I don't know why. I think Arsenal and City, you know, they've gone the distance in the title race. Just Arsenal haven't won it, but we've got to match week 32, 33. The first year we did it, we took it to the final day a few years back. We got the Champions League semi-final. I feel like both teams they'll know what they've got to do away from this competition. I think a lot of fans, because of narrative and story, are putting a lot of like, is this it? Look, it could be a turning point for maybe Arsenal because they get that trophy, but I'm not sure it has this kind of overwhelming kind of setback on either team if they lose. I think they'll just be disappointed they missed out on a trophy. I think it really is basically just all about that game and that trophy and that final. I don't have this kind of wider narrative feeling about this game, and I haven't really for a while. The only way I thought it would is, and it was looking like this a few weeks back, is if City did claw it back from 6 points to 2, which they did, and we were going into this game with it really, and then they beat us, and then I'd have thought, oh no,
That was my point.
the
That's the point
title
I was
race
gonna make.
is suddenly in their hands. They've now just beaten us to a trophy. I could so see us getting in our head about it. But if we were to lose this final and then bottle, because it'd be a bottle the league from here, I'm sorry, like I won't turn to the Carabao Cup final as the reason why.
No.
There's fundamentally a mentality problem if that is how the rest of the season panned out. And I don't think we could then go, well, it's because City got the edge on us on that. That would just be a shambolic showing from Arsenal if that were the reason why, or if that were the subsequent events from the position we're in now. But because we've extended that gap, I think we can just put the game to one side as its own thing.
You've just taken the point I was going to make there. I totally agree, James. That last weekend's swing of results, I think, makes this game interesting as well, because had City have beaten West Ham, and let's say we drew with Everton, and then we lose to City in the final, we come back off the international break with City really breathing down our necks, and it's a different kind of vibe. I want to win this final, and I think we need to win this final. But if we don't win this final, I don't think there's enough of a gap, in the league that makes me still comfortable and confident we're going to win this title. So that draw you guys had at West Ham has really given us the breathing space that we don't have to worry too much about linking the trophy to possibly City catching us in the Premier League. And also, it's fascinating to see, you mentioned you're adamant there, Steve, that you go with your number 2. I'm fascinated to see if Arteta does the same thing, because I've kind of come around to your way of thinking, Turkish, that I actually have changed my mind. I think I would start Raya in this game now. But normally I wouldn't. I'd normally say stick with the guy you've gone with for chemistry, rare. I just think we need a trophy so badly. Just minimize the margins of error. Just minimize. Yeah. And Kepa's not a normal number 2. He's a number 1 for most clubs, right? So it's not like we're putting in, a kid sort of thing. He's a number 1.
Same with Trafford, to be fair.
Yeah,
true. The Trafford situation at City, he's obviously seen his arse. He was brought in to be number 1, and then all of a sudden, Donnarumma becomes available for 20 odd million, and then bang, we've grabbed him. And every time Trafford, in the beginning of the season when we played Trafford, first few games, he didn't want the ball at his feet. We're coming off the back of Ederson, yeah. We used to a goalkeeper just nice and calmly slotting it around. We had James Trafford volleying it and slicing it into the air and putting panic stations at the back. So City fans were like, shit. So the Donnarumma thing made sense. But now you see James Trafford now, after he's been there 6-8 months, he's calm, he's cool, he's comfortable. He's a world-class goalkeeper. It was just, I think he got thrown in the deep end too soon at City. I don't think he was ready to go from Burnley to City and be number 1. I'm confident with Trafford. If he starts, I'm confident. It's like City over the years. We've had Ederson and Ortega, and no City fan ever blinked an eyelid if they said Ortega was starting, because we knew what Ortega's about. And it's the same with Trafford. The only thing I fear with Trafford is the corners, whether he's built for that. If Arsenal are putting it on us on the set pieces, whether I think Donnarumma is a big unit, and he'll give it as well as he take it. He'll throw defenders into the net if he needs to, and stuff like that. And he's a match winning goalkeeper. Like you one-on-ones with him, you're putting everyone up. But Trafford is also the same. He has produced some great saves, so it is what it is. I mean, I've been in Carabao Cup finals where we were absolutely devastated that Willy Caballero was starting in goal, and he won us the game against Liverpool. So I'm past caring about goalkeepers now. I'm just going to have to trust the manager on it.
Yeah. Turkish, we were discussing the importance of this game, and I'll be honest, Jordan called you out, man. He said some nasty stuff when you were out.
What a snitch! What a snitch!
That's all right. No worries, man. Can't say it to my face. I was just getting my Arcada shop. Sorry, people.
Do you remember when they thought, wait, was that a joke?
Slightly.
Yeah, fair play. In all seriousness, Turkish, let's be honest, not a competition you've rated massively at all.
No.
But you've always said when you're in the semi-final, you sit up, that FIFA pose where suddenly you kind of lean forward. And how are you feeling? How important is it to you this Sunday? Is it just surface level, I really want to win a trophy. I don't want to lose to City. You know, trophies is what it's about. Or like, is there something bigger? Or are you more relaxed about it? I'm just wondering how you feel.
I think, people have gone too far with the rating of this trophy. If you're in it, you go to win it, right? That's how I see it. It's just, I've always looked at this as whether you win it or don't win it. It's not a season definer. It's not a definer for a manager's, future at the club. It doesn't really define much. It's more of a compliment to maybe greater success in May. If you just win the Carabao, it's not enough for Arsenal, for a Man City, and it shouldn't be enough for a United and these teams too. Albeit over the years they've made it more than it is because of their situations in the big boy competitions. So I think that and I'm going with my son this Sunday. So whatever I thought about before, if history is made this Sunday and we win it, and seeing it with my son, it becomes even more of a special competition moving forward. And for my son, he's going to value it more than I did, because growing up, even though we won it in '93. And I was actually 5 years old then. I wasn't at the game. My first game was '94 in the league. So I didn't grow up with that feeling with the Carabao. I grew up seeing Wenger youth players, Ferguson youth players, and I enjoyed it for that. A chance to see who's next up, who's biting at the heels. In terms of this Sunday, I think it's massive because it's City. And because of what's happened over the years with City, and because they are the benchmark, they have been the benchmark in the league, and they have stopped us a couple of times, whether it's the way we bottled it in 22-23 or toe-to-toe till game week 38 and one slip-up costs you. Sharks, that's where it all comes from, right? That's what I believe makes this game bigger than just the Carabao Cup final. I disagree in the sense that, just as I came back, I heard the talk of the impact it can have. I agree on the sentiment behind that, because it shouldn't have an impact. Professional footballers on hella money, win or lose, you still got jobs to do. But, there has been a mentality issue over the years. And I know, part of that squad's gone and there's new faces in, but it's time to turn that narrative around. And you won't truly know the impact of the win or the loss until May. So I do think it can play a big part. I agree that if it was 2 points in the league, the difference, 4 points in the league, the difference, with a game in hand for City, this one will be much more on tender hooks than it currently is. But the next 3 games are massive, because we, as good as we have been, we could lose to City on Sunday. We could lose to City at the Etihad. And if you put a draw in between at Bournemouth, all of a sudden, the Sharks are back. It's 4 points with a game in hand or something like that. So these next 3 games are so massive, and it starts with Carabao Cup final. So I do think it can have an impact. It shouldn't have an impact. But yeah, I just think because it's City, there's going to be that mental side of, it feels like it's either us ending their era in this game, or it's either them saying, nah, we ain't over yet. You might take the league this season, but we're taking something. And, next season we'll be back again. So it does feel big for each club, but it's also not defining for each club.
I think it's important we win it because the club needs a trophy. We need a cup, right? Yeah. It's also important for Arteta, because I think beating Guardiola in the final, I think will be really a big fillet for him. But the third thing is, the reason why I think it's important to win this game is because we have the chance to do something really special this season. Like, if he gave us the league right now, we'd all take the league. If it's just the league, we're all taking that, right? Get knocked out by Barca.
I was asked that yesterday. Right now, you're offered the chance to just secure the league, but nothing else. From the position we're in, would you take it? And Steve, do you think we should? I mean, by the way, I would. I know we've got a good lead.
I think the Champions League, it's all right looking on paper. I've been there before. You look at it, you think, yeah, we're going all the way here. Then all of a sudden something happens. It's crazy, because it's going to get tough for you guys. You've got games coming all the time. Now you're going to know what it feels like to be in every single competition, but going to the deeper end of it, like we was. And people don't talk about that. They don't. But trust me, it's knackering. This is where you're going to see certain players drop off a little bit, or certain players rise and think, you know what, I'm enjoying it. Some people will start picking up knocks and that. On the Carabao Cup final, I think it's important that we win it. I feel like we need to get a trophy back in the cabinet. We lost the FA Cup final last year. We obviously didn't win the league. And I think that will just give everyone a little bit of boost on our side to think, right, okay, well, we've done them in the cup final. Let's do them at the Etihad. And our position is the same. We're not consistent enough this season where, you turn around and say we're going to win every game now for the end of the season. You just possibly can't say that in your head because it's just mad how it's been. Our best case scenario is we beat you in the cup final, and then we win our game in hand, and we beat you in the league, and then we take it to 3 points. And then my best case scenario is then 3 points is like pressure, just pressure. It's got to be us put pressure. It's in your hands. I don't mind it being in your hands, but if there's only 3 points in it, that's what I want the pressure to think. Well, if they slip here or they draw here or whatever, then we can nip in front. That's what our best case scenario is. But it's crazy how like it's been mental how that City are still here, to be honest, because we've not been playing well and we've not been playing good. But it always seems to, when we sort of slip, you sort of did a stupid thing as well. So it just sort of kept us there. Do you know what I mean? Really, to God, we should be out of sight by now. So I always say, like, we're getting away with it. We're getting away with it.
Do you remember in January when I said if we win our next 5 games, I think we can win the league at Etihad? And the numbers say now that was true, but then we drew to Liverpool, drew to Forest, drew to Brentford, drew to Wolves, lost to United. You know, we would have been in a great position had we got a couple more points against Forest, got 2-3 points against United. The chance to win it at Etihad would have been there. So you're right, you shouldn't be in it, but you are at this stage, in my opinion. Even though I'm very confident of seeing it out now, and Premier League is all that matters to me first and foremost, I still wouldn't take what James offers because I think we are primed to win 2 trophies minimum. Because I feel like because you said it earlier, if we don't win the league here, it's an almighty bottle. It's one of the biggest ever. It's bigger than 22-23. It's up there with United in 97, 98. It's up there with United in 11-12 against City.
It's not worse than 11-12. United 11-12. That was shocking what they did.
The Champions League brings you into the elite club level. That's it. That no one can say a shit. Then you've won everything you need to win. You win the Champions League. Go and play for the Super Cup. Go and play for the World Club Cup. You know, you're doing things that you've never done. You know, so the stick I got beaten with was you'll never win the Champions League. Oh, you've won how many Premier Leagues? Nobody cares. You'll never win the Champions League. They beat me with that. We lost at Porto. You'll never win the Champions League. That's all I used to get on the Big Six. You never win the Champions League. Then when you win the Champions League, everything changes. Everything changes then. You can just relax and sit back. You've got it. It's done. It's in the cabinet. So I know you need a trophy and I know you want the league, but because I was winning leagues consistently, I remember on the Big Six show saying I wouldn't take the Champions League. I'd take the Premier League every year because it's bread and butter. That's fine when you're winning Premier Leagues. That's how you feel. But when you win the Champions League, it's different. And especially when you've never won one before, it's different. So I would always say to somebody now who hasn't won the Champions League, if they've won the Champions League and they say I prefer the league, that's fine. I hear a lot of players say that, you know, because they've won it. But if you've never won it, it hits a little bit different. Can you imagine Arsenal winning the Champions League? Just visualize the picture of Gabriel holding the Champions League trophy. It hits different than to visualizing with the Premier League. You know what I mean? Everyone disrespects the Premier League is what it is. You know, it's been crap this year, blah, 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 blah. But when you're champions of Europe and you win that, it's a total different animal. And like you say, I don't know, if you had a choice now, if they said you're going to lose the league, but you're going to win the Champions League, I'd be tempted as an Arsenal fan to take that Champions League.
So if it was that scenario, Steve, I wouldn't. I think the league is the most important. It's the league of everything. But to James's scenario, would I take the league now given and nothing else, or play out the season?
You know why the league's most important? Because you've never won the Champions League.
Well, I hear that as well, but I also think it's more important because I think it's a fair representation of how good you are. You don't win the Premier League.
But the Champions League, you know, that's it's a lottery. That Champions League, it's a lottery, but it's so prestigious in your club and for what you are. You go on that list of teams. You've won the Champions League. Chelsea can't chat to you anymore. Tottenham can't chat to you anymore.
Oh, no,
City
United
can't chat to you more.
I want it.
What I'm trying to say is, it's like if you said to me now, you can win the league or the Champions League. I win in the Champions League. You know what I mean? If you said to me, if you could pick a trophy for Arsenal to win this season, I'd pick you to win the league. because
Well,
from a rival point of view, I don't want you to win the Champions League.
Sure. I get you. But to James's point, the reason why I would gamble, I'd play out the season, I wouldn't take just the league, is because we have a genuine chance of winning both. It's not often that even as a top team in England, you can genuinely win both of those. Like either or is amazing. We can win both. We can actually win both. And we might not win both. We might just win the league. But I think we're in a position whereby we can do something special this season.
We could win the treble, man.
Do something special.
You win the treble.
We could win the treble. We could. Let's win the first one this Sunday first, and then we can. We're on the way.
One trophy at a time, man.
Yeah.
But I've been there before. Man City are favourites for everything. They're going to win the quad. They're going to win this. They're going to win this. Then you start getting judged by the quad. So if you don't win the quad, apparently it's a failure. Whereas a quad and a treble for the last 20 years has been impossible. But now all of a sudden, that's what we're judged as. Yeah, you're not going to win the quad or you're not going to win the treble. It's madness, mate. Steve, it's absolute madness.
Steve, you know what? I'm of the era where a double is impressive.
Yeah.
Like people talking about trebles and quads.
No one's asked about a double anymore. No one's asked about a double anymore. No one's asked. Mate, we won four in a row. I'm not allowed to talk about it on the Big Six. You know I mean? I'm not allowed to talk about a treble. I'm not allowed to talk about this shit. You know what I mean? Because I was sick of hearing Steve talk about it. Can you imagine Arsenal winning a treble and then me coming on the Big Six saying you're not allowed to talk about it? We're sick of you talking about it. You'd never hear the end of it, man. But like I say with me, I know where it is. I know what's going to happen. I know what City have done, and I know how special it is. So these people on the internet that are telling me, "Oh, you can't say that," and talking shit. Now all they've got now is 115. That's it, 115. The whole universe is clinging on to a 115. We've just seen Chelsea get done, 36 charges. Yeah, £10 million fine. Nobody's asked. Nobody's asked because Chelsea haven't won anything, so no one gives a shit. Simon Jordan yesterday, I watched it briefly. He basically said that Chelsea have cheated and that there should be an asterisk against the name. Did you watch that interview with Simon Jordan?
No,
I agree.
It was mad, mate. Like, because I just sort of skimmed over it or whatever. They've broke financial fair play, but he's literally going in on Chelsea saying all them trophies that they've got, it's there in black and white, that it's bullshit. But there's not the same energy for Chelsea as there is for City. You know what I mean? I get it, but
but you're right, Steve. There should be that energy for Chelsea, man. Like some of the players that were listed, that
nobody anymore. They're not a threat to nobody anymore. If this had come out in the middle of the Abramovich times when Chelsea just won the European Cup and that, there'd be huge uproar with it. But that's football now. At the end of the day, I think the Premier League have made a rod for their own back with this FFP thing. That's a whole nother show, but it's getting a bit mad, you know. But like you say, for the Champions League and the Premier League, the Champions League does hit a little bit different. I think once you got it off your back, then you know you're flying. Then no one can say shit. Then
you know, Turkish, I was saying about not knowing what the Carabao Cup means outside of kind of the one-off game. I think City's treble win is a really great example because, I mean, it's historic winning the treble. Probably your greatest ever season, Steve. Like, is it the one you've enjoyed the most? I imagine.
People say the treble. We actually won 5 because we won the Super Cup and the World Club Cup. So we won 5.
Right.
So no one's ever done that before. United never did that. They lost it in their final. But it's and we was in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup that season as well, and we lost to Southampton.
You lost to Southampton, which at the time I remember we all thought, oh well, they've won loads of them. It's a shit result, but they've won loads and whatever. But like on reflection, that was the year that Ten Hag's Man United, and they were an okay side. That's the year they won the Carabao Cup. I think they beat Newcastle. Thinking like it's not like it was Klopp's Liverpool or even Arsenal going for the title that year, and you know it's not like they won the Carabao Cup. So you kind of think on reflection, man, the quadruple really was on for City.
And don't forget, we won the Champions League undefeated that season. We never lost a game. Never gets talked about. And then the formidable season never gets talked about. Charity Shield, League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League. You look at that picture, that team photo with them 4 trophies in front of you. It's pretty impressive. But people are like, we don't want to talk about that. I'm like, yeah, but that's what happened. It's never happened in the history of English football. Never, ever happened. And that's why City's legacy in that they talk. Everyone likes to talk, but I've seen it with my own eyes. And like you say, I'm very, very privileged. That's why I don't overreact to a lot of things these days. People want me to go on a meltdown because City are second. I'm not built like that. You know what I mean? That doesn't cause a meltdown in my life. Getting
Steve's
beat
been in League
4-0.
Two, bro. Second.
Getting beat off Stockport County. It's a bit hard to take that. You know what I mean? I got a bit upset with that. You know, York. That hurt a little bit. You know, coming back on the coach, I was thinking this can't be my life. It can't be my life watching this shit. Do you know what I mean? But I've gone from that. That's despair. That's why people say Big Steve never says this about City and he never says that. Because to me and to a lot of Main Road, like we're calling us happy clappers now. To us happy clappers, this is fucking dreamland, man, for me. Do you know what I mean? It's dreamland.
Stockport and Lincoln. Now you're bored of Madrid. Okay,
this is what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying. And people are having meltdown. They're all slagging Erling Haaland off. I'm going on podcast arguing with people who've been calling me out on Twitter because I won't slag Erling Haaland off. I won't slag a striker that's got 36 GNA in 41 games. You know, that any other striker in the league would be absolutely made up. It'd be the best season. Apparently, he's a lamppost and he don't move and he don't do this. People are just mental. And I don't want City fans to get into that situation. What we've all had at clubs, especially your club. Your club have got like about 10 different sections of fans. You've got the ones that are, they're all right, but then every now and then they go a bit fucking mad. You've got the delusional ones who you think he just talks shit all the time. You've got the ones that are like, they're old school. They've been about a bit. They don't like them because they make them look like pricks. So they hate them. So you've got all this mad shit going on. We're just sort of like old school, new school. You know what I mean? We don't give a shit. We'll go back to Lincoln tomorrow, inflatable bananas and Kappa tracksuits. Let's have it. And we've got the new ones like, oh my God, we drew to Wolves. I can't believe it. Getting rid of Ireland. Pep's a fraud. Get him out of the club. That's what we're dealing with now. You know what I mean? And for me as an older fan, it's like mad. You know what I mean? My son will get all stressed when City get beat. Fucking, I can't. I go, calm down. I went, what? You're not built for this, you. I said, imagine but me. And he goes, shut, Dad, talking about all them dusty days on coaches going to Grimsby. And I'm like, yeah, but that was real life back then. You know what I mean? It was real life. You had to challenge the inner. There was 1,000,001 things better to do on a Saturday than to go to watch City. Like I could have gone shopping. You know what I mean? I could have had my hair cut when I had a bit of hair. I could have had a bath, or just that would have been better than what we did. But we had to go and do it because you know that's why me and Toby are clashing on the big six at the minute. I don't know if you guys are obviously Turkish, but he said, if Tottenham get relegated, I'm not going to watch Tottenham in the Championship. I'm not going again. Now, to me, that's mad. That's like mad because I'm like, you support your team through thick and thin. That's why you're a supporter. So then we're calling him a glory hunter. And then he's trying to define it, but he's confused, man. I know he's confused. And then last night we're playing well. He played 4-4-2, and I can't make the guy out.
He's seeing signs in Tudor. Did you see his title? I'm seeing signs in Tudor.
I'm like, and I can't. The guy's so mad, man. But I just feel like, you know, it is what it is. Like you say, we went off on a tangent there, but
Steve,
City fans.
No, it's interesting though.
It is. We got to wrap. But Steve, just before we do, just how do you beat us on Sunday? How do you think City win this game on Sunday?
I think we got to fight a bit of fire with fire. I think we went to the Emirates early in the season. We nicked one, and then we thought, right, best way to get out of this here now is to dig deep and just hold on for the 1-0 win. We was a minute or two away from doing that. Then we got a point. I was disappointed with it. I feel like we've got to have a bit of caution about us because I feel like teams that start a little bit cautious against Arsenal, it takes you a while to get into the game. So I think we need a good 20, 25 minutes to sit deep and just set our stall out. And then I think it's going to be between the managers. I think it's going to be tactical. I think it might even be down to who's got the better bench and who can influence the game. You know what I mean? If he keeps Cherky off the bench, but late on he brings a Cherky on, I feel like he can create something. You know, you might have Max Dowman. We might be on our last legs and you might bring him on and he might run us ragged. So I just think we've got to do what we do. But looking at the City squad, we've got enough tools in there to beat Arsenal. We have. And looking at your squad and the way we're playing, you've got more than enough to beat us. So that's why I think it's a genuine 50-50 shootout, which I don't mind. I'm up for it. You know what I mean? And we're going to go there and we're going to give it our best shot. And like you say, at the minute, you're in better form than us, but there's definitely a big performance in there from us somewhere, you know? Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm confident we can get the job done, you know?
I go back to what I said right at the beginning. Like, you know, this is the first time since City have been the benchmark, then there's been real question marks about City in the media, with pundits, with fans on the Big Six, for example. And there's a fear that there's a wounded animal there, and there's a saying about a wounded animal. I mean, I should have probably checked up what that saying is before. But yeah, wounded animals can hurt you, basically.
I
You're
watched your
saying,
live stream last night, Turkish.
yeah.
He was struggling for
I
that.
still haven't
that
checked
one.
it, but yeah, a wounded animal can hurt you, people. Yeah, don't go near them. So there's an element of that. Gahey not being there, that's big. You know, ineligible. So that's a big one.
But he rested Diaz the other night, and I think it'll be Diaz and Kuzanov, and just got to give a special mention to Kuzanov because I think he's really coming to his own. A lot of pace, a lot of power, bit raw, bit mad, but I think he's getting there. But we're John Stones is fit as well, so he played against Newcastle, but he's not played in the last 2 games. So you don't know if you might end up with a John Stones coming into midfield kind of thing. You just don't know with Pep. Something's going to happen. Yeah. There's going to be some disappointment or madness from that lineup is announced an hour before kickoff. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
What about ours, lads? Is it Havertz up top? Is it Gyökeres up top?
Yeah. I mean, there's genuinely 3 or 4 positions with genuine questions around them. Because I can't complain if it's Calafiori or Nkapie. I think both deserve it. They've both been great. Not that I can't complain. I prefer Trossard, but if he gave it to Martinelli or if he gave it to Madueke, I'd understand. There's like merit to all 3 of them, really. I know you guys don't love Madueke on the left, but I think he's been a little bit better than others have given him credit for. Gyökeres or Havertz, you could do either. Gyökeres' best game for Arsenal, maybe against Leverkusen, but I almost think Havertz is more equipped. Like if we want to try and get hold of that midfield, I think you do that with Havertz dropping in a little bit more. Right back, you could go Mosquera. I mean, if we're up against Doku and Timber's fit, then I want Timber to play. And I've been quite critical of Timber recently. But if he's not fit, then I prefer Mosquera. But then Ben White he's the guy who's been there and done it. And part of me feels that he's got to be on the pitch for this. And I think you can see against Leverkusen, Saka had a little bit more support, was able to do things. But again, is that just the level of opposition, with all due respect to Leverkusen? It was that part of it. So I think there's what we said, 3, maybe 4 positions there that are genuinely up for grabs. The goalkeeper too, Raya, Kepa. I'd go Raya, but it wouldn't surprise me if he started Kepa. So yeah, what would you guys do for those key positions?
Nkapie for me, just on recent form.
Turkish, can I ask you something? Does that depend on the other fullback? Because a lot of people see it as like, if you got Nkapie, you should play White. If you got Timber, you should play Calafiori.
That's what I play, because I think Timber has played and is still to play a big part in the bigger trophies, whereas Ben White, it's been such a shame, in my opinion, on a personal, sentimental level, that the last 18 months going to be 24 months, it hasn't been great for him, consistency, injury wise. And he was one of my favorite players in the first, the couple years before this downfall. So I think for this final, it'd be nice to give him the start and let him play his part in winning it. Fingers crossed we win it. So I'd go Nkapie, White. I'd stick Gyökeres up front still.
Is that sentimental, mate, though? I know you've kind of admitted it is, but I mean, Doku's running at your right back. Would you rather it's Mosquera or Ben White?
Ben
Doku's
White
in good form, man. Doku's looking lively.
No, Ben White. After I see what Minte did to Mosquera, I don't want. Yeah, Doku's a tougher test in terms of a dribbler running at you. So I would go with Ben White. But again, Ben White, the amount of games he's played, it's not ideal to be playing a Doku, who I don't really rate much. But what I do rate about him is he's so wild with it. Like I rate him like I rate Saint Maximin and Adama Traore, in the sense that they could just do anything at any given moment, but you can't control them. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just wild.
This is what these younger City fans who are getting on my case about Haaland don't understand. You hit the nail on the head. He's capable of doing anything. So if you're a centre forward and you've got a winger that's capable of doing anything, how do you know where he's going? So he'll go near post 1 minute, he'll go back post next minute, and then Haaland will run near post, he'll cross it back post, and they'll go, oh, Haaland should have got on the end of that. And it's like, what? Whereas if you had a Raheem Sterling or Leroy Sané or a Riyad Mahrez, you knew where they were going. So it's the same with like great Arsenal teams. You knew where Overmars was going to go. You knew where Pires was going to go. You know what Bergkamp was going to do. You knew where his limitations was. That's what, strikers have to learn who they're playing with. Haaland looks in the midfield now. He's got Bernardo Silva. He's got Nico O'Reilly and Rodri. None of them are capable of putting that ball like Kevin De Bruyne could put the ball. You know what I mean? None of them can put the ball where Gundogan could put the ball. So then you go wide to Savinho, and you've got 2 Tasmanian Devils on the wing. Yeah, they're just fucking flying around in whirlwinds, and you can't predict it. But earlier in the season, when we had a Cherky, a Foden sort of setup, it was more measured, more controlled. You could start to read the game better. And Haaland got his rhythm. At the minute, Haaland can't get his rhythm because every game there's a different link up on the wings or behind him. And this is what these people don't understand. And they think because Haaland speaks to me, that he's me mate, I'm not going to throw him under the bus. But Turkish knows some of the messages I've sent to Haaland are on the level like I'm sending to you. What the fuck's going on, mate? You were shit last night. What's happening here, mate? So I can speak to him on that kind of level. But it's mad, mate, at the minute. But yeah, Doku, he looks great on the eye, and he's to beat this man, he's done that. But then the final product is just not there. Yeah. It's not consistent enough.
You know what would be the fear or the hope for you, lot? That Traore Jimenez season, because I think there's a lot of similarities in terms of Traore, Doku, and even Jimenez, Haaland in a lesser level. I'm not comparing both, but what I'm saying is there was a season where them two connected so well because they just, I don't know what it was that season, but they just read each other so well that I think, didn't they beat the Son Kane combination of goal assists? Or they were
so. They get because they probably sat down and had a chat and said, right, this is what I'm doing. This is where we need to go. There needs to be some sort of dynamic. You've got to speak. With Kevin De Bruyne, he'd find you anywhere. Do you know what I mean? That's what Haaland used to say. He just finds me where.
That's our camp, basically.
Turkey did one the other night, right? We broke, and Semenyo made a run, and Turkey outside of his boot knocked it round the fullback. He was brilliant, but Semenyo in his mind didn't think that pass was coming, so his first touch took him too wide, and he missed a chance. Whereas, you play with Kevin De Bruyne, you've got to expect that because that is not an outrageous pass for Kevin. So it's mad, but I don't know. Yeah, we're a little bit mish and mash this season. I think this is where the problem lies with it. But Doku, at the minute he's playing well. He give Madrid, he give Trent a bit of a torrid time. Trent was taking the piss off him after the game. I seen him saying, "Look, he's showing you what he was doing in that." But when he rolled it for the goal, he just rolled it in that little tight space, put it across the goal. We need more of that from him,
For me, it's just quickly, it's Ben White, because I'm looking at this game as how do we get our best players hurting them rather than worrying about Doku. Doku can do any of our right backs, but equally he can be handled by a right back. So I'm not looking at it from that point of view. I'm looking at it as Saka is better with Ben White. So how do we get Saka hurting City? Well, give him the guy that he likes playing with the most, and that's Ben White. Gyökeres, I'm starting him because I liked what I saw against Leverkusen. I want to see more of that. And the other position was it left back? Don't really mind. Nkapie has been really good, but I do think the roaming runs from Calafiori coming inside could cause City problems. So that one I don't really have a big.
Before we do predictions, I actually lean more towards Havertz now. Thinking about their centre-back pairing, Stones, the experience, Diaz, the experience, and the qualities Havertz possesses in comparison to Gyökeres. Havertz probably gives them a tougher time than Gyökeres, just off of profile and what they give. But yeah, Gyökeres probably deserves the start. I mean, he has been good this second half of the season. So let's move into predictions. There has been some change. Jordan got a correct score and a goal scorer, so he got 7 points from the Leverkusen
like
game.
An established porn star, I'm coming from behind. I'm done in the dance. The comeback is on. It's on, James. I'm coming back. I'm telling you. I'm coming back. 2 in a row. 4 correct scores, brother. Telling you, unlike City, I'm chasing down I'm chasing down the winners at the top.
He's worse than me, man. He's worse than me on the big six. Sometimes I say things like that, and you go like,
Steve, it's a mess, man. I think that's why both shows tend to do well, man. You don't know what can come out of what angle. Pause as well, and we're talking about angles, and yeah, I mean, he's got me now. Fucking hell.
It's one of the most disgraceful things. He could have just said, Do you know what? Let's not.
The comeback's on. That's all he needed to say.
But even
Instead,
that, he's ruined everything. He's ruined every sentence.
yeah, it sounds a bit worse now. Yeah,
He's
but
ruined
Jordan
every
did get 7 points. He got a goal scorer and the correct score. The guest Marvin also
correct
got
scores.
a goal scorer. So the guest got 5 points. James got 0. I got 1. So the table currently stands at me on top, 58 points. The guest in second on 54. James in third on 52, and Jordan now on 49. So 9 separates top from bottom.
That's right.
Cool. So, Steve, what we do here in order. So I'll go first and then you'll go second because you're the guest slot. We'll make a prediction on the scoreline and then star man. So if you predict a Haaland or if you predict anyone, they get 4 points for a goal, 2 for an assist. If you get a defender, they get the points for the goals and assists too, but they also get clean sheet points. So bear that in mind. I'm gonna go 3-2 Arsenal. And Starman Eze. Steve.
I'm going to go 2-1 City and Starman Ryan Cherky.
James.
2-2. Don't ask me about anything after that because we only do the 90 minutes. This is going to be tough. I'm going to say Gabriel because I think he'll score from a corner, although we're going to concede 2 goals, but I'll go Gabriel.
Cool. And Jordan?
I'm going to go 1-1, and I'm going to go Zubamendi. I'm going rogue.
All right, cool. Can you just say something for me and say you don't rely on Saka for the rest of the season and he is not going to be the guy that's going to lead the attack?
For the 4th time, I said league.
No. Can you just say, because since you've said Saka's going to be the guy to lead us in attack, the guy is not leading us in attack. I just need you to just take that pressure off your shoulders because your jinx is, it transcends time.
My jinxes are mad. They are mad.
And Gyökeres has got better since he's since he's just completely ruled him out. There was one pod I can't remember where Jordan just went, "That's it. Like I'm not having him. I'll sell him." This looks all right.
Did you ever see my breakdown of Gyökeres before Arsenal signed him?
I did.
On
the Big Six, was it?
Yeah. And it's pretty much came true what I've said was going to happen with him. And like you say, but the fans on there, man, you just wanted him. So you're saying it's mental on that show. You can't see. I'm on here now. I can have a level conversation with people. We can talk about things and stuff like that. On there, you've got to get your armor on and that before you go on. You know what I mean?
Royal Rumble.
You're on the battlefield, yeah. You know, I'm on the battlefield like Jon Snow. We've seen that clip of Game of Thrones when Jon Snow stood there with a sword and they're all running at him in the horses. That's how I feel on there at the minute. You know what I mean? I'm taking legs off horses and stuff. You know what I mean? This is how I've got to do it.
Taking legs off horses. They're not waking up with a horse head next to them in the bed. It's horse legs in the bed. Just
horse legs,
evil.
Man.
Do you know, Turkish, just being serious for a second, you know, one thing I'm nervous about is I know City have been through a poor run of form, but in all those games, Murillo clears it off the line. I thought they started the better team against Real Madrid in both games. Mark Gahey and Haaland miss huge chances. Like, it's not like they've been blunt in front of goal. They are creating chances, and that's my
someone's going to get slapped soon. I said that for a long time. Like everything's going to click and go in, and we're going to find ourselves 4 or 5 up in a game where everyone's going to go, "Whoa, what's happened here?" But
even West Ham, is it Hermansen in goal? Was it Hermansen?
Yeah, that guy.
He made a couple good saves.
That guy came to the Emirates and turned into prime Manuel Neuer.
We had 15 corners, 25 shots. Yeah, West Ham had 1 corner, 1 shot, and scored.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think the Premier League has been that where kind of people are slipping up if you don't take your chances. But I just have a nasty feeling that not that City will go on a run, because I think we've all kind of accepted that City aren't what they were 2-3 years ago. But there's going to be a demolishing. And as much as I've enjoyed the slip ups and the defeats and all that, there's been a part of me that's like, yeah, but on another day, So I'm a little bit. That's the one thing I'm worried about for this Sunday.
If the demolition comes against Chelsea, there's a bit to worry about. Right before Etihad us Chelsea, I do expect them to drop points. I think then you're looking at like, oof, maybe
I've always wanted a shootout at the Etihad. I said it months ago on the Big Six.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Etihad and have a shootout. I think that's what you want in football. You need to go there with a little bit of something in your chest where you feel a bit nervous, but there's something, it matters a lot. I love them games, I love them games. And like you say, some people, they get, but I'm scared. I don't want to do it. I'm too long in the tooth to be scared over football. It's football. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we get beat, we're going to get a bit of shit.
I don't want that game. I want us to be 15 clear.
You've got to feel it.
I want to know that losing is fine. I want another 0-0. I want another 0-0. Yes, come on. Hey, I need to recreate that, Steve, more than anything.
Imagine going up against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and having to win 14 games, the last 14 games, having to win all 14 to win the league.
Yeah,
that was let us just get our first one, man. Let us just get our first one.
That was pressure. Vincent Company hitting 40-yard screamers in the top corner and that to get you over the line against Leicester.
Some of the ways City have won the title are incredible, but
it's mad.
But yeah, no thanks. I need. I'm not discrediting the 2 titles Liverpool won because they were brilliant in both. But I need that. They need 10 games to go.
Chilled out, give a few beers with the boys. We're all celebrating tonight. Where are we going? And that, not yet. 2-0 down to Aston Villa with 10 minutes to go and have to score 3. Yeah.
I'm not built for that.
For your health,
I'm not.
Just to round off the predictions, I've gone 3-2 Eze Starman. Steve's gone 2-1 City Shirky Starman. James has gone 2-2 Gabriel Starman. Jordan's gone 1-1 Zubamendi Starman. And as always, we're going to wrap it up with comments of the day. Hopefully, us 3 are prepared. I've got mine here. James ain't prepared, which is the usual. Have you done chapters at least?
I've nailed the chapters. I mean, these are good chapters. But let me have a quick scan. Don't
worry. I've got mine from Pratisha, who, listen, I've met Pratisha out in South Africa. So did you, Steve, actually. Big supporter of the channel, the Big Six and so on. And she got one of the most liked comments, and I actually liked it myself. She said, "It feels like I've waited ages for Jordan to do the Gyökeres celebration. But after seeing it, I kind of wish he didn't."
I actually did see that one. I was reading it a few days later. That's a great comment. Yeah, Jordan, you made a mess of it.
Fingers were like this. It was like Kenan Yıldız's star celebration on the face. I don't know what he was trying to do, but
no, Turkish, that's kind. It was disgusting. It's just an awful mess of a. No, Jordan, it's that you
just
lock
connect it, man.
I ain't got time. I got to go work anyway. I'll work on it in the week. Cool. The comments were good this week, right? They were really good. So I'm going to rattle through just a few. Jordan looking like the Green Power Ranger at the beginning. Now, people mentioned my costume that I wore. Yeah, people don't seem to understand. It's an Arsenal training top. Like, because I think I sit and you can't see it below. It's an Arsenal training top. Just so people know, it's not a costume.
Yeah, but this is the essentials tracksuit top. But I don't sit here like this, like a ninja.
No, but what's the point in having the thing around the face if you're not going to use it? You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. I think some people genuinely think it's a costume. It's an Arsenal top, right?
Guys, Turkish, can I shoot? I've just really got to go. Yeah.
All right, Steve, love, man.
I've enjoyed it. Guys, all the best for Sunday. I'll be knocking about Sunday anyway, so I'll probably bump into
I'll be there.
Guys, yeah.
Love, my bro.
We'll see you soon, yeah. All the best, yeah.
Take care, bro.
Come on, City.
Get out of here.
Just a couple more. Jordan thinks he's Sub-Zero. That's the one I was thinking of from Mortal Kombat that I couldn't remember who it was. Yo, Turkish, do you know Jordan's mic is on? It's rude. If Jordan opens up his blinds, he would look like Luigi Pimp in an Amsterdam shop window. Here as well. We thought Jordan was, anyway. And there was a really kind of heartfelt one that I just thought was really nice. I thought I'd read to end with. Lost my granddad January last year to cancer. He was a massive Arsenal fan. We played the North London Forever at his funeral. But moments like these and seasons like these, you wish they were here. I can't honestly believe we pretty much have one hand on the title. When we last won the league, I was 9. Remember driving home from Cheshunt down past Tottenham and going to a Gunners pub on Blackstock Road where my nan still lives, driving through with a blow Premier League trophy. But more than Spurs maybe going down and maybe a double or treble or quad. Come on, moments like these shared with people you love live forever. I can't wait to watch us lift the trophy with my kids and my nephews who wish Granddad was still here to witness this, and me, like James, losing my voice because I screamed when the first goal went in. My two youngest, age 1 and 2, both were screaming and crying to my partner. This is why we love football. I agree, and this is the reason why, for me, I would never ever say winning is all that matters. Moments matter in football. Moments. Winning the title is paramount. But the moments, the Eze goal against Leverkusen, the Dalman goal against Everton, these moments are why I support Arsenal. They mean so much more than just 3 points. So our thoughts are all with you for your loss. And yeah, let's just see out this next couple of months of the title, or whatever happens, and let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy this run-in, man, because it's going to be so much fun. And yeah, big up yourself as well. Thanks for kind of writing that in, because that was very personal to you, obviously, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, big up to them, because I feel that there is that sense of like, so I don't want to end on a sad note, but you know, there's someone I knew who, via sort of season tickets and stuff, one of the loveliest guys ever, sadly passed away a year ago. I think they did a similar thing at his funeral. I wasn't able to go, but they played North London Forever, and he went week in, week out. The nicest guy ever. His name was Steve as well, funnily enough. And he, like, part of me is like, man, like, he deserved to see all this. And it's so sad. Going in his place is someone who only went to his first Arsenal game a few years ago, but is a huge fan and has never seen Arsenal win anything and is seeing it for the first time. Everyone is experiencing everything in a very different way. Like, I myself, like, I haven't grown up on Arsenal winning time and time again, but definitely, like, thoughts are with those who kind of watched so much of Arsenal up to this point as well. And yeah, I kind of wish they were here to enjoy it. But yeah, we honor them in some way as well, if and when we get over the line, for sure. So I don't know if I've got the words out right there. I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say, but like,
totally,
I don't know. There's so many different. I don't know. We talk about one big fan base, but everyone's got their own story, right? And whatever is going on, everyone just enjoy it. Like, this is the best Arsenal I've ever known. Now, Turkish and Jordan probably can't say that, but I can. And I'm 30 and I've been supporting for a long time. And it's the best Arsenal I've ever known. And I suppose my way of honoring those people, and to those who are kind of more new to it, whatever, just enjoy this, because it is an amazing time we're in. And hopefully it can become historic and iconic and memorable. But it is an amazing time to support Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even you say probably we can't say we definitely can't say that. We saw some great teams, but what we didn't see is our club being favourites for Champions League, and that's where we're at now. A few trophies would be nice, but being favourites, shows what it is and what it should be for the next few years. But yeah, I saw that comment too. So big up Jordan for picking that one up, and big up the Irish as well. St. Paddy's Day on Tuesday. That's it. I mean, on that comment note, I mean, I used to have a pint of Guinness with my nan every St. Paddy's Day, and obviously the community. I lost my nan a few years ago, so it's not the same. In fact, on Tuesday I didn't do anything for it. I didn't even acknowledge it. So yeah, losses do hurt deep, but you got to get back on track and maintain what once meant a lot to you. Make sure it still means a lot to you. Like that comment said, the Arsenal memories, linking it all to past memories and whatnot. It's important.
Can I just end on one final comment? One final thing to say. I did actually just look at Silva's compilation of goals, and obviously he scored lots of top corner goals, right? So I wanted to track that comment, right? And I'm actually upset with myself because he's one of my favorite players, Silva. So I want to track the comment. Yeah, I loved it. I think he might be the most underrated player in the Premier League.
He's unbelievable.
He was such a good player, but
you underrate him.
Well, maybe.
You just said he's like a Vivendi.
The point I was making was that De Bruyne, I think, got all the headlines, and maybe rightfully so.
Yeah,
but Silva was the brains of the operation, and I think Zubimendi gets overruled, if you like, by Rice, because Rice is
I agree with that. That's
figure,
that's a fair comparison.
But the brains, I think, of the operation is anyway. I wanted to say, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, just stop mentioning legends, bro. That's my advice to you, brother. Because right now we've got David Silva, we've got Kaka, and I'm sure you said someone else that I'm missing.
Probably.
Next week, Mosquera's got that. He's got that Ronaldinho in him. You know what I mean?
Millions to Ram, you know what I mean?
Do you know what he had to? You know, because like Ronaldinho, you know, he had to. You know, he had Eto'o there as well. Like Mosquera's got Saliba. So it's a little.
Let's move. I gotta go. Big up you, Turkish. Happy belated birthday for you.
Yeah,
Hope
happy
you had a
birthday,
good one.
Turkish.
Hope you're enjoying your week. So big up you, man.
Love. All right, pleasure. People, community, like, hype, subscribe, go show Steve's channel some love, and obviously tune into Big Six tonight. Gooniverse channel link there. Coolest Disabled channel link there. We'll be back Monday morning. That's the next show we're recording. It's Sunday night. Hopefully, it's all smiles on the thumbnail. If it's not, it's peak.